So today what we're going to be talking about is we're going to be talking about the 3 secrets to algorithmic trading, right? So I'm going to be telling you 3 secrets that I think will help you out quite a bit with your trading, and specifically will help you get into the world of algo trading and help you understand it a little better, right? So, or in other words, what we're going to be talking about today is how to make money trading without making expensive and emotional mistakes. A lot of people make very expensive and emotional mistakes when they first get into trading, or even if they're seasoned traders, you make a lot of those mistakes. But with algo trading, there's lots of ways to prevent that sort of thing. So we're going to talk about that today. Right? Okay, so you guys ready to get started? Who here is ready to get started? I know I am. Awesome. Very, very cool. All right. Okay, so before we get started, let's go over a few key points. So first of all, if you ever lost money trading in the past, it's probably not your fault. You're most likely trading on emotion, and you didn't have any data to back you up. We're going to solve that today. I'm going to show you some ways to avoid that. Instead of getting trapped by emotion, you can find ways to use data that help you out instead. If you've been concerned in the past that you can't succeed with trading, I want to put those fears to rest. You can definitely do this. You just need the right person to explain it to you. We have a lot of really cool stuff in our classes. I'm going to show you some of the amazing things that we've been working on. So basically you can get that explanation to you in that way, right? Number 3, the big hedge funds, they want you to think that you need a PhD to make your own algorithms. I feel like a lot of you will come to me and say, oh my goodness, this is so difficult and it's impossible to pull off. That's just absolutely not true. I've seen people that have barely any coding experience at all build their own algorithms. And we also have a lot of algorithms that you could just use right out of the box. So you really do not need to have a PhD to get into this stuff. It's actually quite easy to get started. We've made a lot of progress on that. So these big hedge funds are definitely wrong. You know, they have their own reasons for saying that, and they really don't want people to get into this space because that's how they're making all their money. It's definitely not true what they're saying, and I'll show you ways that you can actually get into that today. Number 4, if you ever thought that banks want you to fail, you're probably right. Banks are definitely not on your side. They are not in the business of being a charity. Banks really, they don't necessarily benefit from your success. Sometimes they do, but it's not their main thing. What they really want is they want to keep you and your money under their control. They're not in the business of giving out charity type things. They're in it to make money themselves. So if you think that your success is their primary goal, that's probably not the case. So if you've ever thought that, then I think you're right in assuming that. Number 5, if you have a dream, make lots of money and make a big impact, well, I want to show you how to do that in this webinar. That's what this is all about. Yeah. So who is this webinar for? Let's get started with that. This webinar is for basically traders or investors that have never programmed before. If you've never coded before, we can help you with that. You do not need to code with most of the stuff that we go through in this class. We'll teach you how to code if that's what you want to do, but it's definitely not something that's necessary, especially when it comes to all these new AI tools that are out there, especially since we have a lot of code they could use right out of the box, right? So if you've never coded before, this is definitely for you, right? But then again, if you are an experienced programmer, if you have coded before, we also have a lot of things for you too. We have basically ways that you could take all of your coding experience and take it to the next level, right? How are you going to be able to use your coding experience to be able to grow out your trading strategies or build something that can really help you make a lot more money? We're going to show you how to do that. We have some very advanced stuff that I can show you as well. And a lot of code they can get started with, right? So if you've never coded before, that's fine. We can teach you how to do it, or you don't even have to. You can just use existing code. But if you are a coder and you're good at that kind of stuff, I think you have a field day. You'll be able to do a lot of really, really cool things with your coding abilities, right? Okay, cool. So here's my goal for the presentation, right? This is what I'm looking to accomplish personally from this presentation. Is my goal is to get you to believe that algo trading or algorithmic trading is the key to unlocking incredible success in trading and investing. And I've seen a lot of people go through this. I myself personally use this stuff. We're building a hedge fund actually around this as well. We're going to be raising a couple $1 million for the strategies that we're doing. So I could tell you there's firsthand, there's a lot of benefit to this stuff. So it's really my goal is to prove to you that algo trading is that key that you need to unlock that success. And I'm going to show you some of my frameworks and basically simple ways of how to accomplish that, right? I'm going to give you a nice step-by-step guide of this is how you can get started with this stuff. This is why it matters, and kind of where to go next steps is what I want to accomplish in this presentation for you, right? But before we get into all that, do you guys want to save some money? Who here wants to save some money? I see some nodding, right? Okay, well, if you guys want to save some money, and I'm assuming you do, because who doesn't, right? And make sure you guys stick around to the end. So if you guys stick around to the end, we have a coupon code at the very end to help you save even more money with our plans, right? So we have a lot of plans that you can join. If you want to save money, even more money than kind of what I'm going to be showing you today, then stick around to the end, and I'm going to give you a coupon code to do that, right? Okay, cool. So here's our agenda for today. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to share the slides with you guys. So let me copy this link here, and I'm going to put into the chat. Right, so you guys can follow along with this presentation if you'd like. There's a bunch of links and stuff in here and graphs and charts if you want to review it after the presentation. Feel free to do that. Then next thing we're going to do is I'm going to get to know you guys, who's on the call. That's very important. I really want to know who is on this call, and because you guys are the stars of the show, so please let me know. We'll get into that. Then I'll tell you a little bit about myself. Then we'll go through the 3 secrets of algo trading. We have some really good stuff here. I think you're going to find these secrets very, very helpful. Then we're going to go over some case studies of people that have taken our full programs in the past. And then we're going to talk about our all access plan if you want to continue learning and if you want to really take this stuff to the next stage. I also have a chance for questions at the end, although please, if you have any questions, ask throughout the presentation. It's a lot more interesting when this is interactive, and this is the reason why we do this live, right? So if you have any questions, please let me know, and we can have those answered for you throughout the presentation, not just at the very end. Right? Okay, so first off, let's get to know who's on this call. So if you guys can answer these questions, I'm going to copy paste these questions and put them into the chat. If you could let me know 3 things. Let me know what your occupation is. So what do you do for a living, right? Are you a business owner? Are you a doctor? We get a lot of doctors. Are you a lawyer? Are you a programmer? What do you do for a living? We have a lot of business owners that join. Let me know your occupation. Then let me know, do you know how to program? You don't have to know how to program going through this class. There's a lot of code they could just use right out of the box. Even if you're not a coder at all and have no desire to code, you can definitely get through this. So let me know if you know how to program or not. And if you do, how many years of experience you have. And then also importantly, please tell me how much investing experience you have. Have you been doing this for a long time or not? Okay, so I see a couple of chats here. So Natanya says, a public notary, very cool, awesome. Welcome, Tanya. Juan says audio, visual, video tech, very cool, awesome. Anurag says he's a software engineer and do sim trading for 1 month. Very cool, awesome. I hope that's been going well so far, and I think we can find ways to help you out with that. And the rest of you guys, let me know. So answer those questions. We have our model here. Software engineer, cloud architect. Very cool, our model. I think you could do some really, really cool stuff. I think if you got your hands on our code and some of our classes, I think you do some really amazing things with what we're doing here today. Juan says investing for more than 8 years. Very cool. Awesome. I love hearing people that have a lot of investment experience like that. That's fantastic. I bet you a lot of the ideas that you have, a lot of the strategies that you have, we could actually automate them for you. So if you have certain strategies that you've been doing over the past 8 years, we can automate that for you. If you join some of our classes, we can help you with that. We actually have a class every Tuesday where we build algorithms every week. Some very cool stuff. I'll show you some of that today. Lewis says he's a financial analyst, and yes, more than 20 years of experience trading. Very cool. That's absolutely fantastic, Lewis. I think you'll find a lot of stuff that we're going over today very, very useful, and I think you'll get a lot out of all of our classes. That's fantastic, Lewis. Thank you for that. Daniel says retiree of 25 years, stock option trading, no coding experience. Very cool. That's awesome. I love that experience you have. We've been building some amazing option strategies lately, by the way. I'm very excited about the stuff that we're doing with options. We've been focused a lot on what have we been doing? We've been doing martingale strategies. We've been doing iron condors. We've been doing a lot of credit spreads. A lot of really, really interesting stuff. I'm going to show you some things today that I think will blow your mind. If you're doing this stuff in options trading, we could automate a lot of what you're doing. I'm finding it fascinating, all these new algorithms that we're building for options. They're very, very very impressive, to say the least, you know. So welcome, Daniel. That's very cool. I'd love to hear what kind of stuff you work on too, or what kind of strategies you use. Okay, so feel free to keep answering this question, guys. I'm going to keep reading it off as you guys come in, but welcome to everybody. Thank you, guys. It's fantastic. It's great to have you here. It sounds like we have a fantastic bunch here today. You guys have a lot of experience in trading, it seems. We have some people with coding experience. Again, you don't need to code. We have a lot of code that you could just use right out of the box. You don't need to code anything. But if you do know how to code, I bet you could take what we have and really go the full mile with it and do some really amazing stuff. And if you guys have that trading experience, that is super valuable. You don't need to be a trader to go through all this stuff. You don't need to have a ton of experience. But if you do have that experience, I think you'll get a lot of value out of some of our classes that we do on our Tuesdays or on our Wednesdays, where we can actually build out strategies for you, which I think you'll find very, very helpful. All right, so thank you guys again for telling me about yourself. Let me tell you a little bit about myself. All right. So my name is Rob Gresick, right? Very Polish last name. I have over 25 years of programming experience. I've been doing this since I was a kid. Basically, I started coding when I was 12 years old. I was one of those people, right? I then got a master's in finance because I really found that finance and programming work really well together, and I just love the idea of investing. I'll tell you some stories, and like I really love what I learned in that degree. I spent about 10 years working in either financial technologies and on Wall Street. I've worked at a lot of larger companies, and we've built some pretty amazing things. One thing that we did was, for example, I worked at a company called Greystone, and we made an app there. It was my job to hire all the developers and kind of run the whole show, build that app out as like a mini CTO there, and basically built out an app that I think to date has done around 50 billion or $60 billion in mortgage transactions. So it's very cool for a company called Greystone. They do large commercial mortgages. I got to meet a lot of very rich people. Um, I didn't meet any billionaires until I moved to New York, and after working at this company, I really got to know quite a few people in that space, which is a huge eye-opening experience for me and really cool stuff there. After that, I went to go work at a company called Voyager. I was a really early stage employee. You may have heard of Voyager. It's basically like a crypto trading app, like Coinbase. I was employee number 4 there. When I got there was nothing. Basically, it was just a dream and a WeWork, right? We kind of built this thing from scratch. Fast forward a few years, we hired a bunch of people. I was managing a lot of the software team there, and we turned that company into something that was just a startup, into something that's worth $3 billion on the stock market. It was crazy when I saw those numbers. It's pretty amazing how quickly that company went up in value. It actually exploded after the FTX fiasco, so it's not around anymore, which sucks. I left before that all happened and sold my stock options, so I'm still pretty happy, but I would have been happier if this had stuck around for longer. And it was still very cool to build a company from scratch and make it worth, several $billion. That was a very, very interesting experience, to say the least. Right now, I'm also the CEO of Lumi Wealth, which is our company that we're working on right now. And I'm managing a couple $1 million in investments, right, for myself and some other people, right? But it wasn't always like this. I started from humble beginnings. It's kind of grew my way into this sort of thing. Years ago in 2008, I didn't know what the heck I was doing investing. I thought I knew what I was doing, but I didn't, right? 2008 basically blew up my entire portfolio. All my life savings basically went to zero, which, wasn't too bad because I was still young then, but definitely an eye-opening experience. I didn't really know how to manage my risk well back then. I didn't really understand investing that well back then. And I was really just relying on others for investment advice. Instead of checking the stuff myself, instead of doing data science myself, I was really just relying on others. So I've really learned a lot since then, and I want to tell you my story, right? Okay, cool. And Cornelius says here, just a novice beginner, retired, looking to learn more about trading with algorithms, no coding experience. Very cool, Cornelius. Welcome on board. That's fantastic. Sounds like you're in the right spot. Right. Okay, cool. So do you guys want to hear the secrets? So we're here to talk about the 3 secrets of algo trading. Do you guys want to hear what these secrets are? Awesome. Okay. Okay, so let's jump into it. Okay, so secret number 1. This, I think, will help you a lot with your investing. I think you'll get, if there's one thing that you learn from today and you start doing, this one thing I think could completely change your life. Okay. And that thing is called backtesting. If you've never heard of it, what backtesting is basically simulating what your strategies would have done in the past. This is a very, very effective way to improve your investment abilities, and it's done very, very well for me. So let me tell you a story. Let me tell you why I care so much about backtesting and kind of, where this all comes from, right? So here's my story, right? It was 2008, and basically I had just blown up my life savings. I had saved up around $30,000 at the time. I was like, what, 21, 22 years old. That was a lot of money to me back then. That was like all the money I had in the world, and just everything just vanished, right? And it just vanished very quickly in 2008. Obviously, I felt terrible. It took me a long time to save that up. But it really gave me a lot of fire to understand, like, why did that happen and how can I prevent that from ever happening again? So what I did was I applied to the Master of Finance program at a school called Schulich. If you guys have never heard of Schulich, probably because you're not Canadian, but in Canada, it is one of the top business schools. So felt very good getting into that. Very tough program, very hard to get into, and they kind of tortured us when we were there, not gonna lie. They like to work us very hard, but I learned a ton of really, really good stuff in this program. Really, it blew my mind. These professors that I was speaking to, they're managing, millions or billions of dollars, and they had really amazing experience, and they showed me a whole new way of how to invest, right? They taught me how to invest using math, how to analyze stocks, how to manage your risk well, all that kind of really important stuff that I just didn't know before. So I really learned a lot at this school. It was fantastic. It was this Master of Finance program at Schulich. And basically, when I was at that school, I spent pretty much every single night, I spent hours every night just trying to figure out, how did I go wrong with my investing? And just trying to apply, this was outside of school hours, right? Like in school, I was doing one thing, but this was like my personal project of like, how do I take everything that I'm learning and apply it to my investments so that this never happens again? So what I started doing was making these like really big Excel spreadsheets. Okay. And I took in historical data of all these different stocks, right? So the SPY, that's an ETF. I took in historical data for that. I took in historical data for Apple and different ETFs, and what about the VIX index and all these different types of things. I put them all into this big Excel spreadsheet, and I basically simulated what would have happened if I had done specific actions, right? So if I had put in my 30 grand and I had bought this stock, or if I had put in a little bit of leverage, or what if I had bought on margin, or what if I had sold whenever the market was up too much, or bought more whenever it was down too much? Like I kept trying all these different things with all this historical data that I had, right? So, what would have happened if I had done something differently, right? I kept trying this out, and eventually it became very, very obvious to me why I lost all that money. It was like if I had done this 100 times over, I would have every single time I would have blown up, right? 2008 was just one of those times, right? And this is kind of what back testing is, right? It's just simulating what would it have been like if I had done this, or what would have been like if I had done that. And I basically came up with a really smart way to invest. I learned, okay, the ways I'm going to use margin. I really changed a lot of what I was doing based off of the things that I learned, right? So all that stuff that I learned from going through the Excel spreadsheet, I actually started investing in real life. And now around this time, I had my own money, I was investing my own money, but more importantly, and it was actually a pretty sad time in my life. This is around the time that my dad passed away. So it's really an unfortunate time. But basically around that time, it was put on to me to manage the family's money, right? I had a master's in finance. No one else in my family really knows how to manage money well. So they basically said, Rob, take it over. You take over the family's finances. So I started off, I think, with around 200 grand or something like that, and basically applied all the techniques that I learned, right? All the things that I learned throughout this back testing of the Excel spreadsheets, and basically used the things that I learned from that. And I started investing that money. Fast forward a couple of years, it's really paid off very well. Not only has my money done quite well, but my mother has now become a multimillionaire. She has several houses. She bought kind of her dream house that she's living in now. She can travel wherever the heck she wants to in the world. She goes to Poland for like 6 months out of the year, basically, because she can. She's buying a house in Poland actually just for fun, just for kind of her own, for herself and for her sister to hang out in. And her investment portfolio is, well over, I think almost double, uh, several million bucks, actually over $1 million because we've been taking out money. She's retired now, so she's actually taking out money. It's funny. She's actually telling me the other day or over Christmas, we were talking, and she's saying it's crazy that the investments that I've been doing for her, she's able to take out money for her retirement, but the investment portfolio just keeps going up, right? So even though she's taking out money, she's still getting richer, right? Which is amazing, right? And really, I can attribute this to all of these things I learned. And it's not just with her portfolio, it's done with mine too. If you take a look at my portfolio, it's this nice upwards arrow. I could show you, one of my accounts here, for example. It's doubled, I think, in the past year. Let me show you this one here. Here's one of my accounts. I gotta log in. I don't know why it logged me out. I was literally just logged in a second ago. I'll show you one account here that went from, I put in a 25 grand into this one, and it's worth something like almost $50,000 right now. If you take a look at it, nice graph, just trending straight up. This is what it's done in the past. It is in the past year, but you can see in the past 6 months, it's pretty much doubled. This is one of my accounts. We've been doing that with a bunch of accounts, right? That's not just this single one. I have my wife's account that I'm managing as well. I have my family's accounts that I'm managing. I have my other stock portfolios, and they're all doing kind of the same thing. And again, I attribute all of it to this one thing alone, back testing. Basically able to look back in time and say, what if I had done this and what if I had done that? And just applying those learnings, right? So yeah, so fast forward now, my mom is a multimillionaire. I grew my wife's portfolio more in 2 years than she did in like the entire rest of her career in investing. Again, we take out money and it still keeps going up. And me personally, not only do I have some very good investment portfolios, but I also own a company that's valued most likely around $4 or $5 million right now. So we're all doing quite well, right? And I could say all of it really comes back to doing this back testing. So if there's one thing that you take from today is start back testing your strategies and start looking back and seeing if someone tells you invest in this or invest in that, first go back and see how would this have performed in the past. If that's the one thing you learned today, then I think that can completely change your life, right? Okay, but I got some more for you. Okay, so here's another secret. So secret number 2 for algo trading is use existing code and collaborate with others. Okay. So a lot of people will get into algo trading and they're thinking, oh, I got to make everything from scratch. And it's crazy how many people I hear this, right? Like they're hiring developers and they're building things from scratch. It's like, you really don't need to do that, right? There's already so much code available. We have a ton of code that you can use right out of the box, and you can collaborate with us and we can actually build a lot of those things for you, right? So let me tell you a story here of one of our students, one of our clients actually works with us. This guy's awesome. We've actually built some great things with him. Let me tell you a story of Worth, right? So he joined Lumi Wealth a couple months ago. I want to say 5 months. I'm kind of losing track of what exactly it was. But we built a bunch of stuff for him. This is one thing that we built for him. So basically, he trades manually, right? So he's been trading for a while, and he's been making, I think, a couple years now, right? And he's been making some money trading. He has some strategies that work well for him, right? He has a few strategies we talked about yesterday, a tornado strategy that we built for him. He has like a breakout strategy that I can show you guys as well if you're interested. But a lot of strategies that he's kind of had and we've just built out for him. So one of those strategies was the strategy where we short the UVXY. So UVXY is this symbol right here, UVXY. If you take a look at it, it basically just goes straight down, right? Which what you might ask, why the heck would you want to invest in that? Well, what he does is he shorts this thing, right? So in other words, he's making money as it goes down, okay? So I thought it was an interesting strategy and the class agreed. And during one of our Tuesday sessions, we built it out, okay? So we built out this strategy and we were able to back test it and see, okay, if we had been doing this for the past 2 or 3 years, what would have happened? and the results were crazy, right? And I'll show you the results in a second. But it was like, holy crap, like you would have made a lot of money doing this, right? So we're like, okay, this is an interesting idea, right? So we kept working on it. We actually were able to even tweak and improve his strategy, right? He had one idea where he would trade it based off of Bollinger Bands, but when we automated it, we were able to even test like, okay, what if we changed the Bollinger Bands? What if we changed the deviation on it? What if we changed the length? What if we bought at certain times? We were able to play with all that and come up with an optimal solution of how to trade this strategy, which is really, really cool. So basically, he went and started training this bot. And last I heard, he's been getting some very good results. He's been trading this stuff manually. He's been making money, which makes sense, just like how he did trading this himself. He used to actually just trade the stuff normally. Now it's just automated for him. Now it's just doing this automatically and it's optimized. So he's making the money that he used to make and he's able to do it automatically and an even better way than he did before. Right. So that's amazing for him. And we're able to do that for him. And if you guys join our classes, we could do that for you in our Tuesday classes. If you have an algorithm that you want to have built, or if you want to even see algorithms like this get in our Tuesday classes. But that's not it, right? That's not all of it, right? He was able to use that. But because we're collaborating, right? We work together as a group. This is not just him and I. This is a class of 5, 10, 20 people in it where we can all share this, right? So this strategy that we made for him, you can actually use. You can download it and run it. You could do that now. You sign up. If you sign up to our full classes, you could right now get that strategy and start running it tomorrow, right? And I'll show you the results. I'll show you why you might want to do that. So basically, we're able to run all this stuff as a group, and everyone's able to benefit from the strategy, right? And we do this every week, right? Every week we're making a new strategy. We made this one thing for Worth a couple months ago. We made another one from yesterday called Tornado Strategy, which trades using options when it finds a certain pattern. We've done a lot of stuff with iron condors. We've made this martingale strategy. We've built out a lot of really cool stuff. And you can get those strategies today and start running them today, right? You do not need to code this yourself. You could just take that code and run it, okay? So in other words, it's kind of like teamwork, right? We're kind of like the Fast and Furious type people, It's everything. It's family, right? It's like you should get like a Vin Diesel thing saying that, family, But that's that's kind of what it is, right? We're all working together, we're all collaborating. You don't have to be a genius for any of this stuff. You could just use what we've already done, right? So it really does help a lot. And we have a lot of strategies from everyone in the group. We have tons of these things. I think to date, we have maybe 30 or 40 different strategies in that one class alone. And some of them are really impressive. If you look at our iron condors, you look at our martingales, you look at some of our diversified leverage, I'll show you a couple of them. We have literally dozens of them that are very, very impressive, right? And you could just use those right out of the box, right? So let me show you a couple of them, right? Here's a couple of strategies that we've worked on that you can actually get access to immediately if you wanted to, right? So here's that strategy we built out for Worth, okay? So here's a back test. And this is basically saying, what if we had used his strategy, started in January 1st of 2021, and used his strategy over the past, 3 or 4 years? What would have happened? Okay? This is what would have happened. Okay. So in the blue is his strategy. This is shorting the UVXY, right? And basically using Bollinger Bands to short it, right? And you would have basically had this type of return. You would have made from January 1st, 2021 up until today-ish, you would have made something like 8 times your money. 8 times your money in 3.5 years. I'd say that's pretty damn good, right? Actually, it's less than 3.5 years. What am I talking about? 2.5 to 3 years, even less, right? In not even 3 years, 8 times your money if you had been using this strategy over this time period. Very impressive, right? You see here is the blue line is the strategy, and the yellow line is the S&P 500. Huge, huge difference. It makes the S&P 500 look like it's not even moving at all. Crazy. If you want to know what the numbers are, here are the numbers. Basically, over this entire time period, or in other words, our cumulative return, you would have made 708% investing in this thing. Or in other words, if you break it down, it's about 72% a year. So pretty much almost double. You would have been almost doubling your money every single year for the past 3 years. It would have been, right? Over that same time period, you would have had a Sharpe ratio of about 1.3, if you know what that is. It's quite high compared to the S&P, which only had a 0.19 over that same time period. Your max drawdown is a little higher, so it does have a little bit of risk with this. I'm not going to lie. This is not most of our strategies. We don't tend to go the safe route. We tend to go the let's make a lot of money route. I think most people find that more interesting. So, so basically, this is a strategy. It is a little bit riskier. The biggest max drawdown or biggest loss I ever had was about 50%. It was around here. It was up 200% and it fell back down, still beating the S&P even after that crash. But then it continued on just this giant rocket ship and made a ton of money, right? So a little bit of extra risk, but I think, me personally, if I get 8 times my money in 3 years, I don't really care, right? I'll handle that risk. That's fine by me. So that's the strategy that we built for him and that he's been actually running and been making money already using this thing, right? And a lot of and again, if you want this strategy, if you sign up to our all access or our pro plan, you can get this strategy right now and start using it, right? Let me show you a few others. So here's another strategy that we made. I want to show you this one because I want to show you how you can get our strategies and you can even modify them, right? You don't have to use them as is. It's actually very easy to modify. You basically just change a few numbers and it's like super easy to do. Basically go into the coins, change one number from 4% to 6% to 8%. So literally just changing one number and just running it. Super simple. Yeah. We even made this process that makes it very easy to launch and run these things. So here's another strategy. We call it stock leverage with calls. Yeah. And basically what it does is it invests in call options for the QQQ or the NASDAQ, in other words, and basically just rolls them every month, right? So for example, today, what I would do is I would buy a call option that expires at the end of January for the QQQ. And then when that time comes at the end of January, about a few days before, I'd sell it and then buy another one that expires at the end of February. And then I'd buy another one when that time comes that expires at the end of March. And just every month, I'm just buying a new option and just rolling it over. Okay. And I'm doing that with 4% of the money in my account. And then the rest of it, I'm putting into a very safe asset, something that's kind of like a savings account that just pays me interest on a regular basis, right? It's the ticker is USFR. It's very, very stable. It just pays you dividends. Right now, it's paying around 5% a year. Okay. So that's what the strategy does. And this is at 4%. Okay. At 4%, when we back tested it, we got these types of numbers. We saw that our strategy pretty much did about the same as the S&P 500. So the yellow is the S&P 500, the blue is our strategy. But notice that's a lot lower risk, right? Basically, it's more of a straight line just going through as opposed to S&P, which is doing this up and down and up and down. This thing's kind of just going straight through. So overall, it made about 90% return over this 3.5 year period, whereas the S&P only did about 80%, right? So we beat the S&P. But more importantly, we did it with a lot less risk, right? The max drawdown was only 25%, whereas the S&P had a max drawdown of 35%, had this big loss here. The biggest thing that we lost was around COVID, around this part, which is a 25% loss. So we beat the stock market in terms of returns and in terms of risk, right? So that's pretty cool. But now what we can do is we can tweak this strategy, right? If you want to get the code to this strategy, you could download this code and you can actually tweak it. Instead of 4%, you could change it to 6%. Okay, so instead of using only 4% of our money into call options, we put 6% of our money in. And when you back test it, you'll see that you get this sort of result. So here is in blue, our strategy. Yeah, you can see that it really beats the S&P 500 by a very nice margin this time around, basically beating it the whole way through. Yeah. Over this time period, in 3.5 years, it did 134%, which is quite good, especially considering the S&P only did about 80. So we did about double the S&P's return over this time period. That's pretty damn good. So in other words, like 18% a year. And we did that with a risk pretty similar to S&P 500. Our max drawdown was almost exactly the same as S&P, and our volatility was almost exactly the same too. So we're able to beat the S&P 500 without taking a lot of extra risk. We're pretty much the same risk. Yeah. Very cool, right? But again, if you wanted to get this strategy, you could actually take this instead of 6%, you could tweak it to 8%, right? So here's 8%. Okay, much, much different. You can see huge results from this one. So this one, for those of you that are risk takers, right? This one did even better, right? If we put it 8% of our money into this, we would have made about 5 times our money. So 430% return over a 3.5 year period. Pretty damn good. This is 40% a year almost per year return. Very, very good returns. The max drawdown is higher, so you're taking more risk with this, but you're getting, 5 times your money in 3.5 years, or you would have gotten that much money over 3.5 years. So quite impressive returns, right? Very, very nice. So that's another strategy. That's a stock leverage with call strategy. And you can see here, they can tweak it, right? You can change the strategy. You can make it 4%, 6%, 8%. If you want, you can even make this 10%. We'll see. You can back test it and see how well that would have done. Maybe if you don't want to take as much risk, you could reduce it. You could really control this and have the strategy do whatever the heck you want. It's code. You could use it and do whatever you want with it, right? Okay, so that's a stock leverage with calls. Here's another strategy that you guys might find very interesting. So here's our Congress trading strategy. Okay? This one's really cool. People find this one super interesting. So basically what this strategy does is it follows people like Nancy Pelosi and Mitt Romney and all these people in the House and Congress, and basically will follow their trades. Okay. It goes to a website and pulls all the trades that these people are doing, right? And whenever a member of Congress, in this case, I think it was at least 4 members of Congress buy a stock, which is a very strong signal, right? Let's say Nancy Pelosi buys Microsoft, Mitt Romney buys Microsoft, and then 2 other representatives. They all buy Microsoft in the past 45 days. That we take as a very strong signal to buy Microsoft, right? Because saying if there's a bunch of people buying it, then we should probably buy it too. Because these guys are not only are members of Congress insiders, they know stuff that we don't know, but they also can influence the price of the stock. They can pass laws to actually make more money with this, right? So if they're investors in Microsoft, you better believe that they're going to be passing laws that help Microsoft, right? It's a very biased thing. So not only are the insiders they're telling us information that we probably don't know, but they also can influence the price of these things. So it makes a lot of sense to buy the stocks that they're buying, right? That's exactly what this strategy does. So this strategy, no leverage at all, right? No options, nothing like that. If we use options, I bet you would make a heck of a lot more money. We've actually tried to build that out one day. And we never finished it, but I think we make a ton of money using options with this strategy. And basically is what we got, right? When we back tested it, we pretty much doubled our money in the back test from this one we started. We could only go back this far in terms of our data. So this is over about a 2-year time period. We doubled our money in the back test. Amazing, right? Or in other words, around 21% return. And that's fantastic given the fact that this is not using any leverage, right? It's just purely buying stocks, no options, no margin, no borrowing of money, nothing like that, just purely buying stocks. And it made 90% return in 2 years when the stock market only did about 10%. Just absolutely annihilated the stock market. Again, you can see here S&P 500 in yellow and our strategy right here buying these Congress stocks in blue. Okay, and you can see here that not only did it beat the S&P by a huge amount, but it also had a much better risk profile as well, right? So the max drawdown for this was only 24%, whereas the max drawdown for the S&P 500 was 25%. So we actually took on less risk and made a lot, like 10 times more money than the stock market. So it's pretty amazing, this strategy. It's another one that we built during our classes. This is if you want to join our full classes, our all access plan, this is the kind of things that we build constantly, right? We built this again during one of our classes, and it was very, very cool. All right, so that's our Congress strategy. I showed you a couple, right? We have tons of strategies like this, by the way. We have a full library of these things. And what we're working on doing right now, that it's like one click for you guys to run this. You can literally go in, and I'll show you actually. Basically what you do, if you guys join our full, if you guys join our plans, let me show you basically what it looks like. You go here, and we have all these strategies lined up for you that you can use. All right, so let me go into here. Here's a couple of them. We're adding in more. We have 3 or 4 in here right now. We're going to have about 50 in here very soon because we're adding them in now. All you do is you go into the strategy, click on the strategy. You can learn about what it does, how it works. You can learn about the back tests, and here's basically how it performed. You can analyze it, all that sort of thing. You have all the code. You can run it if you want to. And if you want to actually run the strategy yourself, very, very simple. All you do, you click on this button, run on Replit, one button, and then you fill in your keys, and that's it. And you have this thing running. Now this strategy, I can have this strategy up and running in the next 5 minutes. I can actually have this thing running live, right? And actually do. If you guys join us as well, you'll see our trading signals. You can actually even watch our strategies trade. So here's, for example, one of these strategies, just took off like crazy the past few days here. You can see this one, we started investing in November 30th. This is with paper trading money, but this is actually trading live. Since November 30th, it's made an 11% return. Pretty damn good, right? So about a month. Here's another one. Here's our diversified leverage strategy. This one we started on November 10th, and it's made 21% since then, right? And this is actually trading. Like you could actually watch, if you join us, you could see what it owns. Right now, this is what it owns of each asset, right? You could see how much it made in the past 24 hours, how much it made in the past 7 days, past 30 days, and every day you can watch this thing trading. And then if you like it, you can literally go into here and press one button and have it actually launched and run it for you. How cool is that, right? So here's that strategy. Basically, all I need to do is go in here. I have to put in my my secrets, basically my keys to connect to my broker, and hit run, and that's it. And I have a strategy running. Very, very cool, right? So any of these strategies I'm showing you here, you can actually get these things up and running very, very quickly. All right, so that's our Congress trading strategy. And let me show you one more, and this one's pretty cool too, for those of you that are into options trading. Okay. Here's another strategy we made. We call it the options straddle. Okay. And what this does, if you guys are familiar with options trading, it basically just does a straddle, right? And then just does it every month, right? So if I ran this strategy right now, it would sell a straddle, right? Because it's selling both a call and a put. And I'd sell that straddle right now, and it would expire next month, right? And basically, if you did that and just constantly rolled it, right? This is the back test of that. And this is basically what you would have, this is how, what kind of money you would have made doing that over the past, this is since 2020. So over the past about 4 years, what would have happened. So this is the back test of it. Over 4 years, you would have made about 250% on your money, which is really damn good compared to the S&P 500, which only does 35%, only did 35% over the same time period. So we did, what was that? Almost 10 times the S&P 500's returns. Amazing. Or in other words, around 25% a year. It does come with a little bit more risk, higher max drawdown, but you can see here just absolutely crushing it. The S&P 500 is here in yellow. This is our strategy, and we just completely killed the S&P 500 over this time period. So definitely another very impressive strategy. And again, if you guys want to run this, you can join our classes. You come in, you press one button, and you can have this thing running for you very, very easily. So again, so the secret here that I'm telling you about, use existing code. We have a bunch of existing code. Collaborate with us. We can do some really amazing stuff for you guys, and you could just use our stuff. You don't have to learn how to code. You don't have to learn how to build your own bots from scratch. You don't have to do any of that stuff. You could simply just use what we're doing, or come into our classes and tell us, I have this great strategy. Let's build it. We could actually just do that for you, right? And that's what we're all about. Right, and I see a chat here. So Anurag says, what brokerage account do I need to use with this? Does it work with TradeStation or Thinkorswim? We don't currently work with either TradeStation or Thinkorswim. And in fact, I'd recommend that you have a separate broker or a separate account at least for these strategies, because you want this thing has to completely own the account. You can't be trading manually in it, right? So if you go in there and you try to trade stuff manually, you're going to confuse it. So it needs to have its own account. So you're going to have to create a new account, right? And we have a bunch of brokers that we work with. We work with Alpaca. We're making a new integration with Tradier, which is amazing, by the way. If you guys trade options, check out Tradier. It's $10 a month, commission-free options trades. So free options trading for just $10 a month. Amazing, right? If you guys trade a lot of options, that can save you literally hundreds of dollars every month. So Tradier, Alpaca, Interactive Brokers we work with, and we work with a bunch of crypto brokers like Coinbase, KuCoin, Kraken, Binance. We work with a bunch of them as well. Right, so we do not currently work with TradeStation or Thinkorswim. We will be adding in Thinkorswim soon, by the way. We're just waiting for this whole thing, the dust to settle, because they just got acquired by Schwab. So Schwab's going to be releasing a new API soon. They're saying probably by the summertime. So when that does happen, we're going to actually link up with Thinkorswim, or I guess Charles Schwab is what it is now. And I agree with you. I think they're a great broker. I would love to work with them. We're just waiting for their API to come out. Right. Yeah, so provide the name of it here. Yeah, sure. So Tradier, right? Here's that broker I was talking about, Tradier. This is one of the brokers that we recommend working with. They're fantastic. Again, very cheap options trading. They have a great API. They're very easy to work with. Or another one that we work with is Alpaca, right? There's another great broker, right? So you guys would have to open up an account with one of these guys, and then you could run code that basically connects to them and basically runs all these strategies with them. That's how it works, right? Cool. Great question, Anurag. Thank you. Okay, cool. So let's talk about secret number 3, right? So hopefully you guys got some good stuff out of that, right? We have some great strategies. If you guys want to join our full programs, you guys can actually get this code, download it, and use it. Even today, you can get that up and running. But even if you don't choose to join our programs, hopefully you've learned a bit about some of these strategies, because we've done a lot of research. You guys could even trade some of these things manually and make quite a bit of money off of it. Of course, I think automating it is better, and we can tweak it with all our data science, but hopefully you guys even got some value, even if you guys don't choose to join our full program, right? Okay, cool. So let's talk about secret number 3. Okay, so secret number 3 is use AI tools, right? And AI is all the rage. I'm sure you guys have heard of, the chat GPTs and all those different kinds of things in the world. But they're really, really, really useful when it comes to coding, right? If you guys are coders and you're not using chat GPT yet, I strongly suggest you start doing it. There's also other tools called like Copilot. GitHub Copilot is another really good one. And there's a lot of stuff they could do. So let me tell you a story of one of our students and kind of what her thing happened with AI. So we have a student, her name is Latoya, and she basically joined Lumi Wealth a couple months ago. I think it's been almost a year now, right? And she's been doing some great stuff. She's very active on our community still. And she joined us with 0 programming experience. She's never coded a day in her life before, right? And she was a pharmacist, right? So she literally never coded before. It's like this brand new to her. So when she joined our classes, we taught her not only the basics of coding, we also taught her how to use AI in her coding. Hey, so we taught her how to use tools like ChatGPT and GitHub Copilot. And we taught her how to do things, how to generate code, how to use it to explain, modify code, how to help with error messages. We kind of gave her a bunch of tips. And basically, after going through our classes, she was able to build a very complicated bot. I was like crazy impressed. She showed me this. I like almost fell out of my chair. It's the first time I saw someone do this, but since then there's been more. Just, the power of AI is incredible. But she went from not coding at all to making this bot that was like thousands of lines of code and very complicated. It was like basically what it would do is it would go into Discord. You know how there's a bunch of these Discord channels that give trading signals. Okay. So she basically found these trading signal channels and had a bot listen to those channels, right? And every time they said buy something, she'd make a note. Okay. And what her bot can do is it can automatically go off and buy it, right? So if they say buy 30 call options on SPY or whatever, right? She could actually just go out and buy that. She made a bot that can literally just execute that for her. But also because she's been able to do this, she was also able to collect all the data on these people, and she could figure out, which trading signals were the best, right? Did these guys actually make money, or are they full of crap, right? Right. She was able to figure that out, right? She was able to find the ones that made the most money, and now she's actually running this bot. Last I heard, she's actually doing quite well with this bot, and basically is copying other people's trading signals and automatically executing those things, right? So she was, basically can do these winning trades for automatically, without making her like glued to her computer. She didn't have to sit there and trade all day long, right? It just automated it for her, right? And she also, again, figured out which ones were the best people or not. Should I be listening to these people? Are these guys very good at trading? Who's actually doing better and who's not? And she's actually able to figure that out too. And not only was she able to make this amazing bot and do some really cool stuff with it and make money with it, But she also got a new job out of this, right? So because she learned these new programming skills, she put it up on her resume and she was able to find a brand new higher paying job. She went from being a pharmacist to, I believe, working at like a pharmaceutical company somewhere. I forget exactly where, but huge pay raise, much easier job. And again, all because she learned how to do this stuff with AI, learned how to code. And, it's honestly, you don't really have to code that much anymore. Like I make the joke all the time. Like technically I'm coding every day, but not really. Like, I mean, I just talk to the AI and I get it to do stuff for me, right? So there's a lot of benefit that you get from AI. So if you have no coding experience, you want to build things from scratch, AI can be very, very helpful with that. It definitely helped her. It helped her build this amazing bot. It helped her get a better job, and honestly helps me write code 10 times faster than I normally would. It's crazy. So let me give you a couple tips for AI. So here's some tips if you want to use AI with programming, right? If you're a programmer and you want to learn how to use AI more effectively, or if you're a non-programmer and you want to learn how to get into coding and you've always been intimidated, well, here's some things that can help you out that can actually make this really, really easy for you. Okay? So tip number one is start with existing code. Okay. A lot of people will go to ChatGPT and say, make me a bot that trades blah, 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 right? They'll put it in and say, like, make me a bot that does this, right? And almost always, like, people come to me and say, hey, this thing's not working. Well, it's like, yeah, I mean, ChatGPT is not that smart, right? Like, it can't just build a bot from scratch, right? ChatGPT can't do that, right? At least not yet. Okay. But what it can do is you could take one of our bots, take an existing bot that we have, give it to ChatGPT, and they could tell it to modify it, right? You can get existing code and tell it to modify that code instead of starting from scratch. You're going to get much better benefits from that, right? So it's not really good at making these things from scratch yet, but if you give it a starting point, you could have it modify some code and do that. It's going to be much more effective that way. We have a lot of code. We have literally hundreds of bots that you guys can use right out of the box and just either use them as you want right away or give them a ChatGPT and modify it yourself. It's all very easy to do that kind of stuff now, right? Now, so that's tip number one, start from existing code. Tip number two, if you don't know what the code does, you could take this code, give it to ChatGPT and say, explain it to me. What the heck does this thing do? It could explain to you, it could tell you step by step what it's doing. And furthermore, you could tell it to add something called code comments inside of the code, where basically you can read the code like English, right? You'll be reading it and say, okay, this is where it's, okay, first it's checking this, oh, and then it's checking this, and it's doing this. So it's like reading a book, right? You don't have to know all the coding language. You can just tell AI to add code comments. You can read through it literally with English, right? It makes it so much easier to understand code, right? So that's tip number two. If you don't understand code, give it to ChatGPT, ask it to explain it to you, ask it to add comments, and it will make your life a lot easier and help you understand this very easily. Yeah. Okay, number three, use a tool called GitHub Copilot. So GitHub Copilot is awesome. If you've never used it before, it's super cool. Basically, it's built into your code editor, right? It's kind of like, like imagine Microsoft Word is kind of like a code editor. You type this stuff in and you like to write code. But imagine while you're doing Microsoft Word, you had an AI that was writing the sentences for you, right? Basically, the way that we use Copilot, and I show this in our classes as well, where basically what I'll do is instead of writing the code, I'll put a comment and I'll say, write code that will check this and then do this calculation, right? And then I wait a second and then it writes the code for me. And then I continue on. If I need to edit it, I'll edit it a little bit and I'll go to the next one. Okay, now then take that thing and do this. I'll write that in a comment in plain English and they'll actually write the code for me. So in this way, you don't even have to code. You could just tell it in English what to do and it will actually write that code for you. It's very, very cool. So that's GitHub Copilot. If you guys are thinking about getting into programming or if you're a programmer or if you want to get into this stuff, GitHub Copilot will be super, super helpful for you. Honestly, for me, I feel like it does half of my job. It's crazy, right? Very strongly recommend it. Okay, that's tip number three. Tip number four, if you want to use AI with programming. If you get an error, which you inevitably do whenever you run coding, most people, they'll run coding and it's, you probably heard the saying, it's like you put a comma in the wrong spot and everything breaks, right? And it's super frustrating because then you're like, what the hell's wrong with this thing? I don't get it. You're confused. You're banging your head against the wall, and you're like, I don't know what to do. And you take hours to try to solve it. Well, all of that is gone now. That is no longer the case. There's no reason for you to wait 3 hours to figure something out. There's no reason for you to bang your head against the wall. All you need to do is take that error, copy paste it, and give it to ChatGPT. Most of the times, it can automatically tell you how to fix it. It'll give you the fix for it. Sometimes it needs a little bit more, and what you do is you also give it the code too. You give it your code, you give it the error, and you say, fix it for me. And literally, you do not even have to write the code. You can just copy, paste it, and they will fix it for you. So with all those times where the comma is in the wrong spot or whatever, that sort of thing, ChatGPT makes it go away. Copy, paste the error, copy, paste the code, put it into ChatGPT, tell it to fix it for you. And that's it. Super simple. You no longer have to be fighting with code all the time. It is so much easier to write code these days than it ever was before. And again, these days, I don't even feel like I code anymore. I'm just talking to a robot all day. It's amazing. Okay. Number five, check out our course recordings. So if you guys join our classes, we have a bunch of courses that will teach you how to do this stuff, and we'll show you exactly how to build out bots, but we'll have a very strong emphasis on AI. So you're not just going to learn how to code, you're going to learn how to use AI to code, which means that you can go just like Latoya from not coding at all to building really amazing stuff in the span of just weeks. It's incredible what people can do with AI. So check it out. Those are my 5 tips for you. We have a lot more of them. If you're interested in stuff, let me know. We can talk AI all day. I love this stuff personally. It's incredible what we can do with it these days. So that's secret number 3. Use AI tools. They have completely changed the game when it comes to coding. All right, cool. So those are the 3 secrets, right? So secret number 1, back testing. Make sure you always back test your code or back test your strategies. If you take one thing from today's class, if that's the one thing, that alone can make you a multimillionaire. And I'm saying that not out of jest. I'm saying that because I have witnessed people do that, and I've done that for people. I've literally made them into multimillionaires using back testing. Secret number 2, use existing code. You do not need to build the stuff from scratch. We have a lot of code they can use. If you choose to join our all access plan or any of our other plans, we'll give that code to you and you could just use the stuff that we have. You don't have to build any of this stuff, right? And it's very easy to run. I showed you literally one button, you click it and it installs. Very easy. Okay? And you can modify it, you can get it to do whatever you want. Okay. And secret number 3, make sure that you use AI tools. You do not need to be a coder these days. It's so much easier to use AI. And wow, you can do amazing things in such a small amount of time without really knowing how to code at all, to be quite honest with you. So those are my 3 secrets to you. Okay. So now I've kind of alluded to this the whole time. We do have additional plans that we can help you out with this stuff. We can give you lots of code. We can get you lots of help with this stuff. We can actually build all these things for you. You could use our strategies. And that's all inside of our all access plan. So do you want to know what you're going to get in our all access plan? Would you like to know more about this plan and how you can join and get all this code and run all these strategies and what you get with it? Are you guys interested in that? Would it be okay for me to show you kind of what's inside this all access plan? Okay. So here's our all access plan. This is what you get. And we give you a lot of stuff. We used to sell these things, and we actually still do. We sell these things for thousands of dollars a pop, each one of these things. This class goes for 3 grand. This class goes for 3 grand. This class goes for 3 grand. You know, some of these things, one-on-one support is like $200 an hour we normally charge. We've included all this stuff inside of one package, and we've made it a lot cheaper for you guys. We give you a lot of value in this. So here's all you're going to get. You're going to get a ton of these different courses, everything on algo trading, on AI, how to use AI in your trading, how to use options trading, you know, specifically with these algorithms, how to build options algorithms. We'll teach you how to trade crypto using algorithms. We'll teach you how to use a blockchain if you're interested in that. We'll teach you how to do Web3 development if you're interested in that. We have our live algo hour, which is our Tuesday class. It's amazing. We're always making the cutting edge algorithms. If you have a strategy in mind, we can build it for you during this live algo hour. It's really, really cool. We give you lots of one-on-one support, so you're not on your own. We help you out a lot throughout this entire process. So don't worry if you think this is a little complicated. We make it very simple. And even if you know this stuff is very simple, we on top of that will get on the phone with you. We'll help you out through all this whole process. So don't feel like this is, you know, if any of this seems like it's kind of difficult, we can walk you through all of it. believe me. We've taught people, and I'll tell you some stories in a bit, but we've taught people that are like in their 70s that could barely even use computers. If we can get them to do this, believe me, we can do this with you. We give you also trading signals so you could follow our algorithms. You know, I showed you a bunch of back tests today. Back tests are great because it kind of tells us about what would have happened. But then you could also watch them live. You could literally watch these things trade live. And if you like this one, you could go and run it. You have the code, right? And then we also have weekly office hours where we're building some very cool stuff for you and can help you out with a lot of things. So I'll tell you more about this in a second. But before we get into all of that, let me go over a few things. So kind of basically what you're going to get from this, right? So what you'll be able to do after going through all these courses that we have, right, is you'll be able to analyze your own investments using data. You'll learn how to do that yourself, right? You'll learn how to build trading algorithms that can automatically place trades for you. You get an in-depth understanding of blockchain and cryptocurrencies. You'll learn the fundamentals of AI, and you're going to get a lot more. There's so much stuff that comes with this, right? And almost as important as what you'll be able to do is also what you'll be able to get rid of, okay? And what you'll be able to get rid of, and this is very important, you'll be able to get rid of expensive mistakes that could cost you life savings. If you think it's expensive to learn how to trade, to learn how to code, to learn how to do this stuff, it is so much more expensive to screw up your investment plan, because instead of having those millions of dollars in the future, you could take it all straight to zero, right? So we're going to help you avoid making those expensive mistakes that are going to cost you a lot, right? We're also going to save you from having to go on YouTube for days trying to figure out how to piece these things together. For those of you that are coders and you're like, oh yeah, I can just go to YouTube and figure it out. I mean, you can, but it'll take you like days to do that. You're going to get some bad advice. You're going to have to piece things together. We give it all to you in a nice package with a bow on top with a lot of code for you to use. And you don't have to be building all this stuff from scratch. So for those of you that are coders and you're thinking I could just go to YouTube, we will save you a ton of hours. It will save you a ton of headaches. And you're not going to be getting some raggedy code from around the internet. You're going to get some very, very well thought out algorithms and things that we've spent years building, right? And first and third of all, you also be able to get rid of getting scammed, right? Now, a lot of people, and this is ridiculous. I hear this way too often. This actually happened to my brother-in-law, which really pisses me off, to be quite honest with you, is there's way too many people out there that are scamming people. There's so much out there, especially in the crypto world, especially in the Forex world. Everyone will go and say, oh yeah, I'll make you $1 gajillion, right? I'll make you thousands of percent return. And it's like, oh yeah, here's my money. And you give them money and you think it's all safe, right? And then what happens is they don't let you take it out. You give them money and they make it seem like they're making you tons of cash, and you keep giving them more. When it comes time to take out your money, they don't give it back to you. It just literally happened to my brother-in-law. It was honestly, it was heartbreaking. I felt terrible hearing the story. He gave these people $50,000 and they won't give it back to him. These Forex guys are like, oh yeah, look at this. We'll make you so much money. He tried taking out a bit. It was all good. And then he gives them 50 grand. And he's like, oh, now I need it for a down payment on my house. They're saying, oh yeah, you have to pay a tax. You have to pay a tax to get it back. Don't tell the IRS though, you need to pay us another $5,000. And I've heard this story before. You know, you pay them that 5 grand and they say, oh yeah, you need to pay another 5 grand. Oh yeah, you need to pay another 5 grand. And they just keep taking your money. You'll never give it back. There's so many scammers like that on the internet, and I hate this. It's terrible. Okay. That's why what we do, I don't take any of your money. I don't want your money. You put your money into a broker, and a good broker at that. We've vetted these brokers like crazy. They're all under US jurisdiction. They're incorporated in the US. They're licensed in the US. They have valid licenses. They're all brokers that are very good that we work with. You give them your money. I don't want to touch your money. I'm not an investment advisor. We're starting up a hedge fund. I'm currently building a hedge fund. And if you are someone with like $250,000 or more and you want to give us some money, sure, you can invest in a hedge fund, right? But other than that, I don't want your cash. I don't want your cash. What I'm doing is I'm giving you our algorithms. You use them. You run them on your broker. I don't take any of your money. That way, there's no risk at all of you getting scammed in that way. I don't want your cash. I don't, under US law, do you know how hard it is, by the way, under US law to be someone who just manage people's money like that? It's very, very difficult. And these people that are trying to take your cash a lot of times are scammers. A lot of times, not all the times, but in very, very large majority of situations, there's scammers out there. So we're not one of those people. We don't take your money. I give you code. You run that code on your own brokerage account. I'm not touching that cash. So you're going to be able to, when you join this program, you can avoid all those scams. You can get returns better than what they're promising. You can see through a back test, you can get, much better things than what these guys are promising. And you're not going to have to give any money away, right? You're going to keep in your own brokerage. Yeah. All right, cool. You're also going to save a lot of time and money, right? So, what did it take for us to build all this stuff, right? We took us a long time to build these things for you, okay? It took over 4 years and over $100,000 in paying other people in building out our technology called LumiBot, which makes it very easy to trade. We have a bunch of open source developers that helped out over the years. It was a huge effort to build this thing. So you're going to save yourself at least 4 years in building this really complex structure that we have already built for you. I spent over 500 hours creating our core classes, our algo trading classes. I spent hundreds of hours building these things, teaching them, refining them, making them better. This is what I'm going to give to you. You're going to get hundreds of hours of work in our algo trading class. I also spent over 1,000 hours and lots of money. I say 200K. I think it's more like over $500,000 creating the rest of the classes, paying really good instructors to teach these things, to show you how to do the AI, to show you how to do blockchain, to show you how to do options investing. I've paid all these people. I've spent thousands of hours building this stuff, and you're going to get that as part of these classes. I also spent over 1,000 hours creating and testing all the algorithms that we have. We have a huge library of algorithms. Like I said, we have literally dozens of them, literally dozens, like options algorithms, forex algorithms, crypto algorithms, stock trading algorithms, all these different things of different risk profiles, and you could pick whatever you want. You could use these algorithms. Very easy to get up and running. One button click. You're going to get all of that. It took me thousands of hours to build this stuff, and you're going to get that as part of this program. And it also took, hundreds of thousands of dollars to build out our community. We have an excellent community. If you go in here, this is our Lumi Wealth community. We have lots of very smart people in here. It's very active. You can talk to other people that are building algorithms. You can ask them questions. How are they doing? You're going to get access to this community. For example, here's one algorithm that we were working on. This is our options condor martingale. And we've been going back and forth in our community about this. Incredible algorithm. This thing, when we back tested it from the beginning of 23 to about June, so the first 6 months of this year, we back tested it. This thing would have doubled your money over the time period investing in this algorithm. And look at this, very straight line, double your money in 6 months. Crazy, right? This is one of the algorithms that we've been working on, and this is part of our community. You get to see all the things we were doing, all the different trials that we ran. You get to see all these different things in here. You get to be part of our community. I've spent literally hundreds of thousands of dollars building this community, and it's full of amazing people. You're going to learn a lot from them, not just from all the things that we have. It's incredible, right? And then also, let me kind of break through a couple of beliefs. You might have a few beliefs at this point. Let me talk about a few of those beliefs kind of before we continue. So you might have a belief. You might have a belief that this is going to be very hard, right? You might be thinking this is going to be very hard. It's going to take a lot of my time. A lot of people think that. It's actually really not that hard. We've perfected this. We've made this thing super easy. I showed you that. Literally now it's one button. You click one button and you can launch an algorithm. You don't have to know how to code. You don't have to go through any of that stuff. Just watch our workshop. Our workshop is going to teach you how to make an account with GitHub, how to make an account with a broker, how to make an account with Replit, and then you push a button and you link them all together, and that's it, right? And you're good to go. And you can run whichever algorithm you want. You can tweak it. Very simple to tweak. This is very, very easy. You don't have to be a genius to do any of this stuff. We've made it super simple for you. Another belief they may have is that this is a scam. Where's another scam? We're going to steal your money. Again, I don't take any of your money. I don't want your money. We are not an investment advisor, right? We're not investment advisors. We are building a hedge fund. If you have like $500,000 and you want to give that to me, that's a different story. We could talk about that. We could actually take your money there. But as a regular individual, or if you want to just kind of get started with a smaller amount of money, I'm not going to take your cash. You keep that on your broker. You run the code. You have that to yourself. Okay. This is not one of those things I'm going to take your money and run, because I'm not going to take your money in the first place. Okay. So if you think that it's another scam, it is definitely not, because there's no way that I can scam you, right? I'm not taking your cash. So hopefully that puts that to rest, because I know there's a lot of those out there. Another belief you might have is you might say, I'm not computer savvy. You might say you're not computer savvy and you won't be able to do it. Well, again, we've taught thousands of people how to do this stuff. Literally thousands of people we've taught how to do this, including people that are like over 65 years old, retired, can barely use a computer. One of our students, for example, it took me 2 hours to get him to just set up Zoom. It was crazy. 2 hours to get him to set up Zoom. We walked through him, he got it all set up, and this guy, he's running algorithms himself. He's running these things. If we can get this guy that couldn't even run Zoom to run his own algorithms, believe me, we can get you to run algorithms as well. All right. And again, you guys are all here on Zoom, so you already know how to use that, right? So you guys by default already passed that. So believe me, if we can help him, we can help you. Another belief you might have is that you're an amazing coder. Maybe you're thinking the opposite. Maybe you're like, I am a great coder. This seems way too basic for me. Well, let me pull back on that too, because if you think that you're an amazing coder and you're not going to benefit from this, well, we have a ton of code for you to use. We have a ton of very advanced courses. We have some of the most advanced courses on algo trading in the world. And I know that because I know all these other courses that are out there. We have one of the most advanced courses on planet Earth when it comes to algo trading. And we have a lot of code they could just use. We're very hands-on. So you could take our code, use it, modify it. We've had some great coders join in and they have a field day. You literally have dozens of different pieces of code that you can use and build your own stuff. So if you're a good coder, you can get a huge benefit out of this as well, right? Another belief you might have is that this is going to be expensive, right? It does cost some money. I'm not going to lie. If you want to get into getting all of our code and doing all this stuff, it will cost some money, right? But it's going to be way more expensive to mess up your investments, right? If you can get some of these algorithms working, you can get some good investment strategies working, you can make a lot of money in the future, right? I've told you about my mom who I've made into a multimillionaire. I've told you about my wife that I made a ton of money with. I've told you about myself even that we made a ton of money as well. I've showed you, one of my investment portfolios, right? Like we're doing quite well with all this stuff, right? This portfolio is one portfolio alone that I showed you earlier today. I made $25,000 in less than a year. Okay. If I can make that much money in less than a year, then imagine the benefit that you get out of this, right? Like think about what you can actually get from all this stuff, right? So sure, this could cost some money, but it's going to be a lot more expensive to screw up your investments and not get that benefit that you need, right? Either blowing up your accounts by listening to some jerk or falling for some scam where they steal your money, like they stole my brother-in-law's money, 50 grand. Feel horrible. It's almost a down payment for a house in Houston. It's terrible. Like you're going to avoid all those mistakes and you're going to be able to actually build out your portfolio. I think that is worth a lot more than what we're charging. We're not charging that much. You know what I mean? Another belief you might have, you might believe that you're new to investing, right? Maybe you're brand new to investing. You haven't been trading for very long, right? And you kind of want to get into trading first. And I get that, right? We want to first kind of learn the ropes and kind of get into it. It seems like a more complicated thing. Well, the truth is that a lot of people, when they start trading, they make all these mistakes, right? You make all these stupid mistakes and you're buying the wrong things and using leverage and you end up screwing everything up and losing money, right? So how about instead of starting on the wrong foot that way, we can have you start on the right foot. We can teach you from the very beginning the good fundamentals of how to do all this stuff, right? And we can give you good algorithms to actually make money as opposed to screw things up. You're going to start off on the right foot by going through these things first, as opposed to starting off on your own and trying to figure it out on your own, right? So even if you are new to trading, this could be very, very helpful for you, right? Okay, cool. So do you guys want to see some case studies? I told you about, I've been talking a lot right now. Maybe you could hear from some other people. You can watch people that have taken our courses before. Do you want to hear from these other people? You want to hear some case studies? Hear someone else speak, and you could hear from other people kind of what they experienced and what they got. Okay, so let me show you some case studies. And by the way, if you want to see more of them, you can go here to lumiwealth.com/testimonials. I put into the chat. Basically, it looks like this. We have a whole page of this. We got to ask more people for testimonials again, actually. We do this every once in a while. We just ask people to record some videos. But if you scroll through here, there's lots and lots of videos you can watch. You can watch Latoya talk about what she did. You can talk about a game. This guy even started his own trading business. He's making really good money last time I heard. This is his bot that he made. You could listen to Renee talk about what he got from the courses. You could listen to Santayan. This guy's doing really well. I'm going to show you a clip of this. Doing really well since he joined our courses. Joel, he's been part of our courses for a while. You could watch a bunch of these different videos. Anthony, Chris, Latoya, not this is a different Latoya, right? We have so many different videos here of people that have taken our courses, and you don't have to take it from me. Watch their videos, watch what they think about these courses. And even if you're in when you're watching these courses, even think some of these people have been started, a couple years ago. Our technology has gotten so much better since then. We've improved so much. So feel free to watch any of those, check those out. But even we keep even improving from there too. So let me play two testimonials for you right now. We have, like I showed you, we have a lot of them, right? We also have a Trust Pilot. If you want to check us out, Trust Pilot, we have lots of reviews out there. We have very good scores and all this stuff. But let me play you two testimonials. So here's Sentayan. This is someone who joined our classes quite a few years ago now, actually. And if he joined today, he would have gotten even more out of it because our technology's gotten so much better. But basically, he's a programmer, right? That's what he does for a living. He's a programmer, yeah. And he basically learned how to take his programming experience and apply it to algo trading. Now, last time I heard when I was speaking to him, he's making something like 400% a year in his algorithms. He was killing it. It's making a ton of money. And he's also a very active member of our community. If you want to actually speak to this guy, you can just go on our Discord. You can talk to him right here. He talks all the time. He's part of a bunch of our channels. You can actually have a conversation with him, ask him how he's doing, what has he built, and get advice from whatever, right? So very nice community. So anyways, let me play this video of Sentayan for you here. And I'm only going to play the first 2 minutes because it is a longer video. It's like 15 minutes long. If you guys want, feel free to watch the whole video. You can do that. But to be respectful for your time, I'm just going to play the first like minute or two so you kind of get an idea of what he got out of this. So let me play that for you now.
Tell us a little bit about yourself and why you chose LumiWealth.
So I am a computer science graduate, and I am a software developer currently. I develop automations for my current company that I'm working for. And also I develop full stack applications, web apps and APIs, as well as for my company. What attracted me about LumiWealth was I loved some of their resources available on YouTube, which told me right from the beginning, like what to expect from the classes. And also, I was extremely interested to learn finance and algorithmic trading. I've been trading from a Wall Street veteran like you, Robert. I mean, you have extensive experience in leading teams into this in a particular branch of finance, and I was completely. I mean, I really wanted to be a part of that as well. I really love that during the classes we'll be going to perform like 2 live projects, which would give us like real hands-on experience, what we would expect in the real financial world. I mean, weekly 1-hour interactions with you and with the fellow students, I mean, that is always an added advantage that we have. Unlimited discussions and help that I got during my time, especially in the Discord channel that we had, was tremendously valuable to me. And also the opportunity to book, one-on-one time with you if I get stuck. I mean, that is something that is even more valuable, and that tremendously, attracted me to LumiWealth. And you don't get that in other courses or any other. I mean, even if you selected a video course, you wouldn't get all these benefits. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. There's definitely people love this, the live nature of things. Thank you for
exactly.
that. I feel like you answered a bunch of the other questions we have, which is great. It's great. Just talk freely, right? I guess another question we could ask is, how has this class helped you personally? And I think this related a lot to the project that you built out.
Correct.
Okay,
So
let me stop it here. He talks about this really cool project. This is the one we mentioned. He's making like crazy returns on his project. It's very cool stuff. If you want to check it out, again, you can watch the rest of this. It's on our website. Feel free to watch the rest of it, but I want to be respectful of your time. So just playing the first 2 minutes. Really cool stuff, right? He's done amazing things since joining us. And, very impressed by what he's able to do. Another person that's joined our classes and got some really good benefits out of it is Latoya. And I told you about her before. She joined, she never coded before. She was a pharmacist. She never knew how to code. She basically just learned this stuff from the beginning, used AI tools, got really good at this stuff. She built that really cool signal trading bot, and last I heard, making some good money off of it. And she also got a new job after the program. She got this new job. She got paid a lot more money. So not only did she make more money with her bots, but she's also getting paid more at work to be able to reinvest into this stuff. So definitely doing quite well. And let me play you her story so you get to listen to it from her directly. So let me play this for you here.
Hi, my name is Latoya. I took Lee Welch's live algorithmic trading course, the pre-recorded options trading course, and I'm signed up to take the machine learning and data science course later this month. I'm a pharmacist by training. I have no previous background or experience in coding. As far as finance goes, I was primarily a long-term buy and hold investor until about a year before taking the course, when I began to learn more about options and day trading. I was by no means profitable consistently in my day trades. I found that with my full-time job, there was limited time for me to get enough chart time to get better at trading, since my work hours typically overlapped with market hours for options trading. I started to see advertisements for Looney Wealth, and it was really attractive due to the ability to build algorithms to trade without constant input from me, and to be able to take some of the emotions out of trading, which was really tanking a lot of my trades. I loved the class. I was intimidated by the fact that I did not have any coding experience and was wondering whether or not I would really be able to go from zero knowledge to creating a bot within that 12-week time frame of the course. But Looney Wealth guarantees that you will be able to create a bot, or not only do they refund you, but they pay you something like $600. So I was pretty confident about that. I joined some of the free webinars before I signed up for the courses. And I also joined their free Discord community before signing up and booked a call with them to discuss the courses. So I was really impressed by the knowledge base of the instructor during the free webinars and how responsive everyone was when I asked questions during the call, and in the Discord community, they answer questions very quickly in the Discord channels. The courses also have lifetime access. So when there are updates to the course material or when there are updates to LumiBot, which is pretty often, you continue to have access with each new version of the course. So all of that combined is ultimately what sold me on taking the course. When taking the course, Robert provided a lot of supplementary resources for us to enhance our Python knowledge.
Okay, cool. So again, I'll stop it there. Hopefully you guys got to see kind of what it's like being part of our full classes, right? So this is Latoya again. She never knew how to code to begin with and started building some really, really impressive stuff. So again, if you want to watch the rest of this, it's about 15 minutes long. Feel free to watch it. You can check it out and see basically what it's like being a member of our tribe. Okay, so to rehash kind of what this is, so again, who is this for? It's for people that have never coded a day in their lives. If you've never coded before and never even want to code, this is for you. You don't have to be a coder. You don't have to code anything. We'll show you how to set it up, how to, basically hit play and get this thing started. It's very easy to run. The first time around takes a little bit of setup. Once you set up, you can run as many bots as you want. It's very easy to go. So you don't need to know how to do any kind of coding. If you want to learn how to code, we can teach you that too and learn how to even modify this stuff. But you do not need to be a coder to come into this. But then again, it's also for professional programmers. If you guys are people that code for a living, like you saw with Santayan, he was able to build some amazing stuff, right? He's making like hundreds of percent a year now. And, because of these types of bots, he's doing very, very well with this stuff. So if you are a professional programmer, you can really get a lot out of it. You can get a lot of code. You can get this community. You can get a lot out of this as well. It's also for those of you, if you guys have $1 million to invest, if you guys are trying to do something really big, this is for you. We've had clients that have a lot of money, right? And we help them out with these types of things. So if that's you, you're the bigger kind of investor, we can do that for you. But you don't have to be. You don't have to be someone with $1 million. You can start with an account as small as like $100. I have some people starting at $250, $100. You do not need to have these giant accounts to get started. So even if you're just getting started and you want to avoid mistakes, you kind of just want to start off on the right foot with investing, this is fantastic for you as well. All right. So you do not have to be that millionaire. If you are, we can help you still. But even if you're not, even if you're starting with $100, we can get you started on the right foot as well. All right. Okay, cool. So are you guys ready to see the full offer? You guys want to see what the full thing is inside of this all access plan, which you guys can get, and including how much it costs and all that? Are you guys do you guys want to know the full offer? Okay. So let me show you this. So here's the recap. This is basically everything that's inside this plan. We're actually even adding more now. We're adding in, you can add in number 11. You'll have a library of code. You'll have our code library, which is like a really nice organized thing, one button install kind of thing. You have that too. But here's basically everything that comes in this class, and there's a little bit more as well. So let's go through each one of these items one at a time. All right, so first of all, you're going to get the Algo Trading class, the Algorithmic Trading course. And what it is basically a 12-week long course that teaches you how to create your own trading algorithms, just like what hedge funds do, right? So you're going to learn how to create your own trading algorithms. You're going to learn how to create these types of things that these big hedge funds are using to make a ton of money. By the way, if you check out what some of these guys are doing, really lots of money. You're going to learn the same techniques as them in this algo trading class. It's basically made for beginners to get started with. And what you're going to start with is you're going to learn how to backtest and run algorithms. You're going to learn how to create your own algorithms from scratch, and you're going to learn how to modify our algorithms. And you're going to get over 50 algorithms, 50. You're going to get 50 different algorithms that you guys can use and start trading with already, right? Normally, we sell this class for about $3,000 a pop. And if you guys want to see it, you can actually click on this link and you can buy it for that much if you want to, for $3,000. Just buy it outright. You can keep it forever, right? But we're going to be including this as part of the all access plan. So you're going to get access to this as part of our plan, right? You're also going to get access to our artificial intelligence for trading course. You're going to learn how to use AI inside of your trading. This is taught by a very smart person, this guy, Greg Tanaka. He is someone who went to Stanford and Berkeley. He got funded by Andreessen Horowitz, which is a huge VC firm. If you don't know, he got funded by $15 million to run his AI trading company. So a really smart guy, really knows what he's doing in this space. And you're going to get this 8-week long class by him. And what you're going to get in it is you're going to learn the fundamentals of machine learning and AI and how to use that in bots. You're going to learn how to apply machine learning and AI to how to analyze stocks, how to analyze crypto. And you're also going to learn how to create your own large learning models, things kind of like ChatGPT, and you're going to learn how to use that inside of your trading. So for example, we built this bot where you could read the news. As the news comes out, you can ask ChatGPT to read it and say, is this going to help the company or not? Right. And that way you could be very fast. If basically a company comes out and says, oh, we're, I don't know, CEO died in a car crash or something, horrible thing. But if you're trading that stock, you can short it and you can actually make money off of that, right? Or let's say something more positive, right? Let's say something really good comes out and inflation comes in lower than expected. You could be the first one buying stocks and actually making money off of that. So you can actually learn how to use this in your trading as well, right? Normally, we sell this for about $3,000, $2,995. You could buy it outright. If you click on this link, you can learn more about it and buy it if you want. But this thing is also included in our all access plan, so you can get it that way as well, right? Well, so far, what we have in our all access plan is we have these two courses, our algo trading course and our AI for trading course. Each are worth about $3,000 a pop. In total, that's a total value of $5,990 so far. Okay. So another thing you're going to get, you're also going to get our options trading course. This is going to teach you in 8 weeks how to create your own trading algorithms using options. How do you automate your options trading? How do you build bots that do that? And you're going to learn how to do that in an 8-week long course. Okay. So what you're going to get out of it is you're going to get the fundamentals of options trading using data, using hard data, back testing, and all that. You're going to learn how to backtest and trade options algorithms. And you're going to get over 10 options algorithms that we've already built that you guys can use right out of the box. Iron condors, credit spreads, butterflies, all that kind of stuff you're going to get right out of the box, and you can just use that and run with it, right? The value of this course, we normally sell it for about $3,000 a pop, as we do our other courses. If you want to buy it outright, have it forever, you can click on this link and buy it that way if you wanted to. Or you can get it as part of our all access plan, and you can get it as part of this. And so far, you have 3 things as part of this all access plan, 3 different courses. In total, almost $9,000 in value you're going to get so far as part of our all access plan. But there's more. You're also going to get our crypto algorithms course, which is basically an 8-week long class that's going to teach you how to make algorithms specifically to trade crypto, right? So what you're going to get out of it is you're going to learn how to apply algo trading to cryptocurrencies, how you actually use this to trade crypto, how to use algorithms to do that. And you're going to get over 15 algorithms that specifically use crypto to trade, right? So you're going to get some really, really cool stuff out of this. We normally sell this for about $3 grand a pop. You could buy it right here if you wanted to, right? Or you could get it as part of our all access plan. It all comes bundled in together, which so far I'm showing you has almost $12,000 in value. These 4 courses, $3 grand a pop each, $11,980 in value you're getting so far as part of this all access plan. But you're going to get more. You're also going to get our blockchain development course. If you guys ever want to learn how to build things on the blockchain, how to create your own blockchain apps, or you want to work at a blockchain company, you can do that now. You can learn this in this class. It's an 8-week-long class that'll teach you how to make your own decentralized applications or dApps. It will show you how to create your own crypto coins, show you how to create your own NFTs, how to make your own lending products, and a lot of other stuff. You'll make gambling websites. You can do all sorts of stuff using blockchain. It's very, very cool, very high paid profession. If you want to go work in the space, I used to work in the space. It's definitely a very interesting thing to do. And so what you're going to get out of this course is you're going to learn the fundamentals of blockchain and cryptocurrencies. You're going to learn how this works from a more technical standpoint. You're really going to get it. And then you're also going to learn how to use this language called Solidity to actually build things on the Ethereum blockchain. So you'll be able to build your own coins and things like that for Ethereum. Okay. This course normally goes for about $3 grand. Again, if you want to buy it outright, you can go to our website and buy it here. This is the link, right? Or you could just get it as part of our all access plan, which has all this stuff together. And so far, that's about $14,975 in value that you're going to get. But you're also going to get more. You're also going to get our Web3 development course, which is an 8-week-long class that teaches you how to make decentralized websites, right? So you learn how to do the back-end part, how to do the coin part in that blockchain course, and then this Web3 class, you learn how to do the front-end part. And when you combine those two together, you can build some really cool stuff, things like exchanges, things like games, things like, all sorts of really interesting things. And basically you could got like a really high-paying job in this space too, right? So what you're going to get out of it is you're going to learn how to integrate decentralized applications into websites. You're going to learn how to create interactive website using React.js, which is like one of the top frameworks for building really cool interactive websites. And you're also going to learn how to use React.js with Solidity projects. So you're going to be able to combine those two together, right? Normally this class goes for about $3 grand a pop. You can buy it directly here if you wanted to, or you can get it again as part of our all access plan, which includes all of that together, right? So far, we're seeing here 6 different courses. Usually we sell them for $3 grand a piece. So that is a total value of $17,970 so far that you're getting for all this stuff. But you're going to get more. You're also going to get access to our live Algo Hour community. This thing is awesome. It's amazing. All those algorithms I'm showing you today, we made them during this class. Basically what it is every Tuesday we meet. And if you have an algorithm that you want to build, tell me, right? You share it with the class and say, here is a strategy that I've been working with and I really like it. And, why don't we build it? And we take a vote and we can build, if you get chosen, because it makes sense, you have a nice algorithm, we can build your algorithm for you, right? So you don't have to code anything, right? You basically just come in and say, hey, here's what I want. And we'll just build it for you during this class. Or if you don't have anything, you can just watch other people's algorithms get built and you can use that code, right? Like for example, we built this really cool one last night where we use a tornado indicator to invest. And it's so far very successful. It made very nice returns, right? Basically finds that indicator, whenever it finds it, it buys some call options and makes a nice amount of money, right? 1 DTE call options and just invests at that point in time because it's a very nice signal. So that's, for example, we built it. And other days before, we built iron condor bots. And days before, we've built machine learning bots. We built all sorts of really cool stuff. Every week, we're doing cutting edge things, and you get to get that code and you get to run it yourself. It's very, very cool, right? So what you're going to get from this is you're going to be able to ask the instructor, which is myself, to build an algorithm for you. So if you want to have an algorithm built, you can ask me to build it during the class. You can watch other algorithms get built live. It's a huge opportunity, by the way, to learn top strategies and to copy other people's top strategies. And you're going to get, this says 20, we're a lot more than 20 now. You're going to have, I think, maybe 30, maybe even 40 different algorithms now that you can get right out of the box, use them, 1-click install. They're amazing right off the box. Normally, we charge $250 a month for that. If you want to do that, you can join our live Algo Hour here and just get that directly. It's also part of a pro plan. You can get that directly if you wanted to, right? But this will also be included as part of our all access plan as well. So far you're getting 17,000, almost 18,000 dollars worth of value and $250 a month in value so far for the all access plan. Then you're also going to get one-on-one support, right? So you're not going to be on your own with this, right? If you go through these classes, anything you find confusing, you're like, I don't know how to do this stuff, whatever, we give you one-on-one support. You could join in, and basically we'll give you 2 hours every month for whatever, right? If you need help installing stuff, if you need help with some code that you're stuck on, if you want us to write some code for you, whatever you want, you get 2 hours every month that you can use, right? Normally we charge about $200 an hour for our time for either myself or anyone else that works with us. So usually that'd be about $400 a month that you'd have to pay, but you don't have to pay that because you're going to get that as part of the all access plan, as part of this big bundle of everything. So again, so far you're getting almost $18,000 and $650 a month in value so far. Okay. But you're going to get more. You're also going to get our trading signals. Okay. Now our trading signals, like I showed you here, basically you could follow any of our algorithms, right? You could follow them, see how they're doing, right? You're going to get, you get to see basically how they're behaving. This was saying it's the rocket ship. It was up 6% in 7 days, almost 6% in 7 days. You get to see basically every trade that comes out. You get to watch them as they trade. You get these benefits and see how they're doing. You're going to get all of that, right? It comes straight to your phone. It looks kind of like this. I showed you it already. That's on the desktop. But you can also see here on your phone. This is kind of what it looks like. You're going to get notifications every time it's either buying or selling, right? And it looks kind of like this, right? You're going to get all these different things here, notifications, and you're going to get help with setup and all that kind of stuff, right? Okay. Normally this goes for 50 bucks a month, $49 a month. So when we include that and everything that you're going to get, you're going to be getting in value $18,000 and $700 a month in value, right? But you're also going to get one more thing, actually two more things, one that I didn't include here. So we have our coding library, like our library of code with the one-click install. You're going to get that too. But on top of that, you're also going to get some weekly office hours. This is a new thing that we started with our all access plan. We're starting it in the new year. So next week, we're actually going to be doing this. And basically what it is, 2 hours every week, use them however you want. As an all access plan member, you're going to be able to join that class and say, hey, can you build this thing for me? Let's write some code. I could build anything you want. If you're stuck anywhere, we could set that up for you. If you want us to create an algorithm from scratch, we can do that. It's 2 hours for you to use however you wish, right? You're going to get those office hours every week. You're going to be able to join in. And even if you don't want any help, you could even just join and watch other people get help, right? Watch other things get built, watch different things so you can absorb in a different way as well. So you're going to get these office hours, 2 hours per week that you're going to get as part of this as well. So you're going to get a lot of support. And again, normally we'd be charging 200 bucks an hour for this, but you're going to get this as part of the all access plan, right? So here is all the value that you're going to get. Is a ton of stuff. This is everything you get from the all access plan. We're not including in here that library of code as well, which is a huge thing too, right? Normally, if you want to buy all this stuff individually, what you would have to pay is almost $18,000 and almost $1,100 a month if you want to buy this individually. But we're giving you this to you for a heck of a lot cheaper as a bundle together, right? So think about it. How much do you think we're actually going to charge for all this? What do you think we're going to be charging for this, right? So if you bought this individually, it'd cost you almost $18,000 and you'd have to pay $1,100 a month. How much do you think we're going to charge you for all this? Think about that for a second now, and I'll let you know in just a second. Before I show you that though, do you want your coupon code? I promised you guys a coupon code when we got started with this. Would you guys like this? Okay, so I see some nodding here. So let me show you this coupon code. So here, if you want to save an additional 20% on any of our courses, you can use this code right here. This is at checkout. It's going to ask you for a coupon code. Click on that button and fill this in. You put in RFRWMA, and you're going to get 20% off of any of our courses by using this coupon code right here. Okay. Now, this is only available until tomorrow. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about that. It's only available for 24 hours. I'm going to be shutting this thing off at 10 p.m. Eastern tomorrow, pretty much exactly 24 hours from now. So if you guys want to use it, make sure that you use it ASAP because it will expire very shortly. But if you'd like to save an extra 20%, there is your coupon code to do it. All right. Okay. So you're probably asking yourself, how much does it cost? Do you want to know how much it costs? Okay, so here is our all access plan. If you want to join and get all those benefits, again, all of the algo trading, the artificial intelligence course, learn how to do all this stuff. You get the live algo hour to innovate all this stuff. You get the one-on-one calls, you get trading signals, you get weekly office hours, you get that amazing library full of code, one-click install. Again, all of this would cost you, if you bought it separately, $17,970. And it would cost you $1,088 per month. Instead of paying all that, what we're giving it to you for is only $5.99 per month. A heck of a lot cheaper. You're saving yourself literally tens of thousands of dollars by getting this thing. We're giving this to you in a nice bundle. All right. We've decided to basically change the way that we used to sell these things individually. We find that people are a lot happier when we bundle this all together. So you get a lot of value out of this. Right. So for only $5.99 a month, and you get that 20% off coupon code. So even less than $5.99 a month, right? You're going to get access to all those courses, all of that code, all the trading signals. You get access to all this one-on-one support. You get all of that for only $5.99 a month, right? Minus the 20% if you sign up in the next 24 hours, right? So what does that come out to? That comes out to what, $480 a month-ish, right? If you sign up in the next 24 hours. So a heck of a lot cheaper than what we've been selling this. So if you want to join this, here's how you join. Here's our all access plan. You go to this page right here. Let me share this link with you guys here in the chat. Okay. Basically, to go to this page, you could read all about the all access plan. You can go through here, read about how it works, what are the benefits, yada, yada, yada. We show you again what you get inside of it. We probably need to update this a little bit actually, right? And then down here, you can get it for the monthly plan. You just click add to cart. If you sign up in the next 24 hours, you can put in that coupon code and you can get that extra 20% off as well, right? Or if you want to save even more money, and a lot of people choose to do this, you can save even more money if you pay it all up front. So if you pay for the full year up front, it's only going to cost you $4,995, which if you do the math, that's a lot cheaper. If you do 600 times 12, that comes out to like, what, 6,000, $7,200 or something, right? It's a heck of a lot more money. So this saves you 31% right out of the box, right? If you pay this up front for the year. And then on top of that, you also get that extra 20% off. So if you want to save a lot of money, right? So you're going to get all that stuff together for a much cheaper price. If you do the math, right? 4,995, that comes out to us at 4,995 divided by 12. It's $416 a month. Knock off another 80%. This only comes out to $300 a month, guys. Much, much cheaper than what we've been selling this in the past. Much cheaper than you can get this anywhere else. To be honest with you, if you think about it, if you went to go out and buy a developer, if you want to hire a developer to make an algorithm for you, it's going to cost more than this by itself. And you're going to get 100 different algorithms. You're going to get all of our courses. You're going to get a lot out of it. So if you want to save some money, you can buy it all 1 year in advance and save yourself some cash that way. So again, that's just a little lower on this page, lumiwealth.com, all access plan, and just click on here, add to cart, and then you put in that coupon code and you can save yourself an extra 20% in the next 24 hours, right? So some great ways to save right there, right? So let's talk about, what would it take to do this on your own, right? Let's say you want to go off and do this on your own. You're like, screw you, I don't want to pay you the money, right? You want to just do this on your own. What would it take to do this, right? So first of all, you'd have to spend at least like 500 hours learning how to code algorithms. I'm not going to lie, it takes a while to learn how to do this stuff from scratch. Our classes accelerate that a lot for you. We make that happen much quicker, right? We give you a lot of code and we actually make it, like I said, you don't even have to code any of this stuff. You can just get it right out of the box, right? Instead, if you had to do this on your own, you'd have to spend hundreds of hours of learning how to do this stuff. right? And that's quite a bit of time. Quite a bit of time. You guys can make a heck of a lot more money than $300, I would imagine, in 500 hours worth of work. If you want to make your own algorithms, right? Usually to create your own algorithms, if you guys go on Upwork or anything else like that, it's usually $150 an hour. An algorithm typically takes around 20 hours, depends on how complicated it is, sometimes a lot more, sometimes less. So let's say on average, you're going to pay about $3,000 an algorithm, right? Which if you do the math, we give you over 50 different algorithms. We're giving you $150,000 worth of algorithms, right? Or you could go off and do this yourself, hire someone else, pay them $3,000, and maybe you get something that works. Maybe you get total crap. Maybe they don't know what they're doing. And that's assuming they even get a good algorithm that has any value to it at all, right? We're going to give you algorithms that we've already tested, ones that we've already been running, ones that are already built. You're going to get that. Instead of going off and paying for someone else to do it, you can get that just directly from us, already done for you. Okay. So we can save you a lot of time. And we'll save you a lot of mistakes too. A lot of people, they start doing this stuff, they get into trading, they do all these really stupid things, emotional mistakes, or they didn't really calculate how this all work out or whatever, right? You can make a lot of very expensive mistakes and we could save you from that, right? So here, we'll get you a lot of stuff for a heck of a lot cheaper, so you don't have to go off and do this on your own, right? So it would be very expensive and difficult to do it on your own. Okay, and finally, I'll also give you a guarantee, right? If for whatever reason, and you don't need to give me a reason, okay? You could just say, you know what, I don't want it, right? People love our courses, so I have absolutely no problem giving out this guarantee. If for whatever reason you're not happy, or even if you are happy, you just want your money back for some crazy reason, it doesn't matter. Tell me within 30 days and we'll give you your money back, no questions asked, right? That's my guarantee to you. I know I'm so confident that you're going to love what we have here, that we're going to be able to get you to the point where you want to get to, that we can give you this kind of guarantee. If you want your money back, we'll give it to you, no questions asked, right? So that way, that takes that off your table, and hopefully you guys don't have to worry worry a bit. You're going to pay us that $600 or that $3,000 or $4,000. If you want your money back, we can get that to you, no problem, right? Okay, cool. All right, so timer's on, right? We have 24 hours. Here's your coupon code, RFRWMA. I'm going to put that in the chat again. Okay. Here it is in the chat. So if you guys want to save yourself some money, you can put in that coupon code, right? And yeah, you could go basically to this link right here. We have the all access plan. You can go to this link and you guys can sign up, right? So time is ticking. If you guys want to save that 20%, make sure you sign up by 10 p.m. tomorrow, 10 p.m. Eastern tomorrow, because this thing will go dead tomorrow at 10 o'clock. But yeah, you have that to use up until then. In the meantime, do you guys have any questions? Who here has some questions? You guys have been great so far today. Let me know if you guys have any questions on anything that we covered. Let me know if you want. Do you want me to tell you a bit more about our algorithms? I could tell you more about our courses. We definitely have some very happy people going through our stuff, and we're building some really amazing stuff. We're building out that library that makes it very easy to install these things. If you want to run these algorithms, it's a one-click install, very easy to get started with this stuff. If you guys want to invest in our hedge fund in the future, like I said, we're building out a hedge fund. Hopefully we'll have that done in the next 4 or 5 months. We'll have a hedge fund up and running. So we're only gonna be taking investments of $250,000 and up. So kind of depends on what you want to do there. But if you guys want to invest in our hedge fund, we're eventually going to be taking some investors too. But let me know if you have any questions on anything that we covered today. If you guys want, you can also turn on your microphones. Feel free to unmute yourselves. You don't have to type it out. Actually, I got a trading notification just earlier today. Got some notifications to buy some crypto here. It's telling us to buy some Litecoin. Very cool. right, guys. So if you do have any questions going forward, you could always reach me at rob@lumiwealth.com. You probably also got a bunch of emails from me. Feel free to reply to any of those emails. We do keep tabs on all of our emails. So if you just hit reply, we can get back to you real fast. You can also just go to our website. If you go on our website, you'll see this little thing down at the bottom here. You can click on that. That's our intercom. Open that up. You write in a question here, and we can get back to you. Make sure you leave your email so that we can respond back to you, right? We can do that for you as well. And yeah, if you have any questions going forward, please let me know. You can also book a call, by the way. If you want to speak to someone in person, under more, you go book a call, and you can speak to someone here. Right, so if you prefer to speak to someone over the phone, you can do that as well. All right. Okay, guys, this has been great. You guys have been fantastic. Thank you very much. I hope you guys have a great rest of the night. I hope you're enjoying your holidays. I hope you guys are having a great time and you're somewhere nice and warm, and you spent some great time with family. And I wish you guys the absolute best New Year. I wish you lots of success and happiness in 2024. If you guys join us during our classes, you guys can actually participate in all these things, and we can help you along those lines as well. We can help you accomplish those New Year's goals. All right. Thank you very much, guys. I hope you have a great night. It's been a pleasure. Much love, and have a good night, guys.